Hello and welcome to the Quever channel. I'm Jason, your host. Just to organise that. I hope you're all having a good day. You know, I always like to give Team Red a chance. And by that I mean AMD. Now, AMD CPUs are freaking amazing. I absolutely love them. I believe every single computer in my house except for two downstairs, which are a basic laptop, old from 2013, are AMD CPUs. And from their very high-powered systems, the 7900 and so on, all the way down to the 7840U mobile ones for laptops, they are absolutely amazing. I love them. They work so well. I'm happy that I long ago changed over from Intel, especially with the debacles with Intel's 13th and 14th gen. But one thing that AMD does not seem to get right is graphics cards. Now, I don't think I'm biased towards NVIDIA. It's just that, just by example, my NVIDIA cards have always been easier to update, more stable, and usable. Now, I have here a Sapphire 7900 XT, an AMD card that, for all intents and purposes, is a very powerful graphics card. But over the past, I'd say month and a half, 2 months, actually no, it feels longer. It does feel longer. It's probably only about a month. I have been testing this card. I've used it in my main computer, I've used it in my AI server, I've used it in my eGPU. And every single thing I try to do with it is lesser than the same situation using an NVIDIA card. If you use Windows, then the chances of using it for AI is fraught with issues. It's slower than an NVIDIA card. The driver support for AI isn't there, and it generally slows things down a lot. So what I did was I put my NVIDIA 3090 in the server and use that, no problem, for all the AI bits and pieces, tweaks here and there, and it works brilliant. And I used this in my main PC as my main thing, and it didn't do too bad, but it was never perfect. Whether I was using Steam VR, playing Skyrim VR, or normal games, or using OBS, there would be little hurdles to jump over. There would be slight glitches. There would be weird aberrations. There's nothing wrong with the graphics card. It just seems to be what you have to get used to with an AMD graphics card. For example, I've got a VRchat mod pack for Steam VR. Now, if I play that mod pack in using the Radeon 7900, I will get, how can I put this, issues. Small, not artifacts, but certain text will be slightly out of phase and be a bit juddery. Not the main game, but the actual text of the mods when they're starting up and things, that interpose on the overlay. And couldn't find any way of fixing that. And then the more I tried, the more semi-unstable. But I got used to it over the last week or so. The final straw was when I tried to do Mantella and AI, and the Radeon card just kept screwing up everything. How do I know it was the actual Radeon card? Because the moment I freaking well switched back to my EVGA 3090 and put it in the menu, no problems. So while AMD graphics cards are an alternative, they're not really competition for NVIDIA. And if you really want the best experience, I will always still have to recommend NVIDIA. Which is bad, because without competition, without true competition, things stagnate. And let's look at the 50 series and that. And it doesn't really have to push itself, NVIDIA doesn't. And we need that pushing for us as consumers. We need for both sides to be pushing all the time. NVIDIA needs to focus on compatibility, AI and drivers. It really does. I shouldn't have to downgrade my drivers just to get a little bit more stability. NVIDIA, AMD should not be releasing drivers that have issues that mean the main piece of advice from Reddit and that is, oh, just downgrade to the last drivers. I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to. I mean, it's been a very, very long time since I've ever downloaded an NVIDIA driver. And I haven't had to say, oh, I want this version or this version. It's been a very long time since I've had to actually, oh God, no, not that version. I'll have to go back to the last one because that one sucks. It's been a very long time. But it seems to be accepted by AMD users that, and just an okay thing, that don't get the most modern driver. Backdate yourself if you want a more... Why? I shouldn't have to do that. So I'm back on Team Green on my main PC, and I'm thinking what to do with this one. All in all, it's a beautiful card, but if it can't do what I need it to, and I have to remember, one of my big things is this: if I get a piece of technology in my house, it's got to work. I don't mind tweaking. I don't mind working on a piece of thingy. I love that it can be part of my projects. But once it's in the system, once it's part of my coping strategies, I need to be able to say, okay, I'm going to turn this on and it's just going to freaking work. I need to be able to access and run my stuff without having to think, okay, will it work this time? Will there be an issue? Because then it isn't part of my coping strategy. Then it isn't part of my de-stressing. Then it isn't part of what helps me deal with depression. Then it's an issue waiting to happen. And every time I use it, I have to wonder to myself, is it going to stop working? Is it going to cause me an issue? I have friends who love to tweak and they don't mind having to tweak every time. It's the very same kind of idea with the Pimax headsets. Pimax headsets are fucking amazing hardware-wise, but they've never figured out and sorted out the driver's side and the code side. If you use a Pimax headset and you put it on, you can't guarantee that it will just work every time. and I couldn't allow that to be part of my system. So this can't be part of my system now, this radio, because it's had too many little issues. When it comes to hardware, when I make it part of my actual coping strategy, it has to just work. And I'm not talking about the Todd Howard kind of just work. I'm talking actually just work. It's like the reason I still use my Valve Index more than anything else, and it's just sitting up here connected to this computer, is because I can guarantee you that if I turn my computer off and I turn my computer on and I turn on Steam VR, I can pick up that and it will work. There'll be no issues, no latency. I'll not have to reset virtual desktop or anything like that. I'll not have to tweak anything or jump through hoops, and it just freaking works. So even though it's 2019 technology, I will still probably keep using it for the foreseeable future until it breaks, because it just is the best that I can use. So I'm just going to be working around a few things and deciding what I want to do. I hope you're all having a good day. This is Jason for the Quiver channel.